Hey guys, my name is Kathleen, former PCT thru hiker, avid Pacific Northwest day hiker, and the hungry hiker here on YouTube. This summer, I went on an epic 10-day backpacking trip with 3 of my friends, Clarkia, Raquel, and U-Haul. Together we hiked all 93 miles on the Wonderland Trail around the base of Mount Rainier in Mount Rainier National Park here in Washington State. In this video, I'll show you all of the hiking gear I brought with me for a backpacking trip along the Wonderland Trail. I'll cover all of the backpacking gear I brought, including my pack, tent, sleep system, water filtration system, cooking system, repair tool toiletry bag, first aid kit, poop kit, packed clothing, electronics, camera equipment, miscellaneous gear, and the clothing I wore during this trip. If you want to learn more about the backpacking food I brought for this trip, you'll want to check out my backpacking food for 10 days on the Wonderland Trail video, which I'll link both above here as well as include a link down in the video description below. I'll also include links to all of the backpacking gear I mentioned in this video in the video description below. Before we get started, be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit that bell icon to get notified anytime I add a new video. All right, let's talk about the hiking gear I brought with me and used for my 10-day backpacking trip along the Wonderland Trail. For this trip, I used my Osprey Asia 48 pack, minus the brain or the top lid of the pack. I used the Osprey Asia 48 for all of my backpacking trips both last year and this year, and I'm still in love with this bag. It's lightweight, has great support system along the back side, fits all of my gear inside nicely and comfortably, and my favorite part of this pack, besides the purple color, is the mesh side pockets and large back mesh pocket that makes stuffing wet gear or gear I need easy access to while out on trail super convenient. In addition to the pack, I also brought an ultralight rain cover for my pack just in case it rained. It ended up raining on us for 3 days while we were out on trail. This year, one of my big gear swaps was switching from a 2-person Big Agnes copper spur tent to a 1-person Big Agnes copper spur tent. I've been super happy with my new tent. There's plenty of room inside the tent for me to store my pack at night. There's plenty of headroom so I don't feel claustrophobic inside. The 1-person tent is lighter, making it easier to store in my pack. And the smaller size also makes my tent easy to set up in even the smallest tent sites, which was key for our Wonderland hike because the tent sites we stayed at along the trail were super small. In addition to my tent, I also used the matching footprint to help protect the bottom of my tent and give me an extra layer of protection from the ground underneath my sleeping pad. For my sleep system, I have the Enlightened Equipment Enigma custom quilt, and I love it. I opted to customize my quilt because I wanted to select specific features like having a 950 down type, a 10-degree temperature rating, a wide width since I toss and turn in my sleep and wanted the extra space to be able to do so comfortably, added a draft collar for the really cold nights, and of course chose my color, which is purple on purple because purple is my favorite color. The total weight for my quilt is 23.85 ounces. For my sleeping pad, I have the inflatable Thermarest Neo Air X-Therm, which is 15 ounces, but has a R value of 6.9, which means this pad is pretty well insulated, making for a warm night's sleep out on trail. Totally worth the extra ounces on this one because I tend to sleep cold. In addition to my quilt and sleeping pad, I also used a Cocoon Mummy Silk Liner, an inflatable Cocoon camp pillow, and a pair of synthetic ultralight sidekick booties to help keep my feet warm on the really cold nights. I stored my entire sleep system in a Sea to Summit 13-liter dry sack to make sure everything stayed dry within my pack. Another big gear swap I did this year was ditch my water hydration reservoir for a 1-liter smart water bottle. This way, instead of carrying a lot of water with me from one water source to another, which is super heavy, I'd camel up and drink most of my water at each water source we stopped at. I was really happy with how this new water system worked out for me on trail. For filtering, I'd collect dirty water in a 2-liter Cnoc Vecto bag, and then filter the dirty water using a Sawyer Squeeze water filter. The tip you see on my water filter is left over from the Sawyer Fast Fill hydration pack adapter that I used to fill up my old hydration reservoir with. For mixing my electrolytes and juice smoothies on trail, and to have extra water storage if I needed it, I also use the Cnoc 28mm collapsible bottle, which is super easy to stash and store in the side mesh pocket of my pack with the rest of my water filtration system. Another gear swap I made this year was to my cooking system. I switched to the new Jetboil Stash cooking system, and for my spoon, I brought back the Sea to Summit long spoon. There were two ways I cooked my meals out on trail. I either cooked my meals directly in my pot of my Jetboil stash, which used a fair amount of fuel and required me to clean my pot after eating. The other way I cooked my meals out on trail was by boiling water using my Jetboil stash, then adding the boiling water to my meal inside a Ziploc freezer bag and let it sit to cook and rehydrate in the DIY food koozie I made myself. I love the Jetboil stash cooking system because no matter how you cook your meals, it only takes around 2 minutes to boil water, making the stove super fuel efficient even if it's windy out. The stash stove is small and compact and fits a small 3.9 ounce fuel canister inside the pot for easy storage, and still has room inside to also store the stove, a small lighter, and a small towel. For this trip, since I brought a medium-sized 8-ounce fuel canister, there was only room for the 8-ounce fuel canister to fit inside the pot. I stored my stove, spoon, and towel inside my DIY food koozie inside my Ursack food bag. For the meals I'd cook in a Ziploc freezer bag, I'd also eat them right out of the bag with my long spoon. This way I didn't need to pack a bowl or have to dirty my pot. The long spoon was key in helping to keep my fingers and knuckles clean while eating my food out of the bag and my pot. Once I was done cooking, I'd use my small REI multi-towel to wipe out and dry my pot. I kept all of my food stored inside my pack during the day in an Ursack, which was the 20-liter Almighty Grizzly Bear and Critter sack. Inside the Ursack, I also stored my food in a lock sack, op sack, odor-proof barrier bag for extra protection. At night, we would hang all of our food bags on the bear pole provided at each tent site throughout the park. When camping anywhere within Mount Rainier National Park, you are required to practice proper food storage. Hikers must use bear poles to hang their food or use bear canisters. Since bear canisters are heavy and cumbersome, I opted to bring my Ursack and hang it up on the bear pole at the tent site each night. One thing I do differently for future trips is get a smaller Ursack. The food bag, or body bag as my friends called it, I brought was a 20-liter bag. Originally, I was going to carry all 10 days worth of food instead of caching. Right before we started our trip, I decided to cache my food with the rest of my trail family. I didn't need a 20-liter food bag because I ended up never carrying more than 5 days worth of food. Inside my repair tool toiletry bag, I kept everything in a 3-liter stuff sack and included things like a Swiss Army knife, waterproof matches, paracord, zip ties, tenacious tape, a repair kit for my sleeping pad, a couple packets of hand warmers, small single-use tubes of crazy glue, and a headlamp. I also carried my toiletries for the trip, including a toothbrush, toothpaste, floss, Q-tip, sunscreen, and a comb. Inside my first aid kit, I kept everything in a 3-liter stuff sack, included things like pain reliever, Imodium, Benadryl, various bandages, a blister repair kit, Leukotape, an ankle brace, Body Glide, and a couple extra packets of liquid IV electrolytes in case I got dehydrated. Inside my poop kit, I kept everything in a Space Bear bag poop emoji pouch and included things like a lightweight trowel, small bottle of hand sanitizer, baby wipes, a roll of doggy bags to pack out the baby wipes, and my Pixie menstruation cup. For packed clothing, I brought along with me my rain jacket, the super lightweight Arc'teryx Norvan jacket, a lightweight puffy, the Mountain Hardwear Ghost Whisperer down jacket, a Melanzana micro grid dress, which I wore at camp every single night we were out on trail, 3 extra pairs of Darn Tough Hiker quarter cushion socks, a pair of leggings in case it got cold, a pair of camp shoes, the Teva Hurricanes, which I also wore at camp every night we were out on trail, a pair of liner gloves in case my hands got cold, a buff, and the clothes I slept in each night, which was a tank top and a pair of running shorts. My camera gear for this trip weighed almost 5 pounds. That's the price I'm willing to pay to be a YouTuber and vlog my trips, so all of you at home can follow along. My electronics and camera gear for this trip included my camera, the Canon M50, and an external Rode mic that was attached to the top of the camera, 8 extra camera batteries since we were out on trail for 10 days and I didn't want to use my whole battery pack recharging camera batteries every night, a Manfrotto tripod with an arc clamp, a RAV Power battery pack charger which I used to charge my phone, GoPro, and Garmin while out on trail, a GoPro Hero 5, an iPhone 12, a Peak Design Capture 3.0 camera clip that I used to attach my camera onto my pack shoulder strap for easy access while out on trail, and my Garmin InReach Plus for friends and family to follow along with me while out on trail and message me if they needed to. For miscellaneous gear, I had things like my Thermarest Z seat or my butt pad. This came in handy anytime we stopped for a break or were in camp and I wanted to sit down and not get my butt dirty or wet. It's the piece of gear I never knew I needed. To keep my sanity from bugs and fly encounters, I packed my outdoor research bug bucket along with my Bins bug spray that has 99% DEET. It's the only thing that seems to help keep the bugs away from me because they love me so much. The Summit Bum Classic Fanny Pack, where I stored my phone, GoPro, tripod, my buck knife, a pair of sunglasses, and the Hungry Hiker stickers I'd give out to other hikers I'd meet on trail. At this point in my backpacking experience, I've learned to keep the clothes I wear on trail to a minimum. For this trip, I had a standard daily hiking uniform that consisted of a Solomon shirt, a pair of Athleta running shorts, an Outdoor Research Echo Sun hoodie that helped protect my skin from both the sun and the cold, a pair of Darn Tough quarter cushion socks, a pair of Salomon Odyssey trail runners, my Choose Mountains trucker hat, and a pair of black diamond carbon trekking poles that I considered worn clothing because they were always in my hands while out on trail, helping me to stay upright and on both of my feet. My total base weight for this trip, not including food, water, and the clothes I wore while hiking, was 22.7 pounds. For this trip, I had the highest base weight out of all of my other trips for this season because I was out on trail for 10 days and I needed to be prepared for cold and wet weather. Good thing, because it ended up raining on us for 3 days while we were out there. Since we had lower mileage days, we were able to get into camp pretty early and explore the area near our tent sites. So the extra weight from my camp shoes was 100% worth carrying on this trip. I'm also glad I brought my GoPro because on the days that it did rain, I was able to keep my nice camera, the Canon M50, dry inside my pack and still get footage of the trail while using my GoPro, which is small and waterproof. Things I would do differently? I'd start by getting a smaller earth sack. I didn't need a 20-liter food bag because I ended up never carrying more than 5 days worth of food. I'd also pack headphones to use for all of the big climbs we did on trail. Somehow I forgot my headphones at home. So that's all the hiking gear I brought with me for my 10-day backpacking trip along the Wonderland Trail this summer in Mount Rainier National Park. Don't forget to check out the video description below for links to all of the backpacking gear I mentioned in this video, along with a link to my complete backpacking gear list for this trip on LighterPack.com, and links to other videos featuring our Wonderland hike, including how I planned this trip, the backpacking food I ate for 10 days, and the playlist for the entire Wonderland Trail vlog series showing our day-to-day life out on trail. If you enjoyed this video, hit the thumbs up button, and if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Happy trails and keep on trekking.